It's another Micro Action Monday on Studio Class. Hey Divas! For your micro action today, we are conducting a SWOT analysis. Ooh, yes, all these businessy things. Yes, SWOT analysis. SWOT. So a SWOT analysis, we're keeping this one short and sweet. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strength, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Okay. To do a SWOT analysis, usually people put this also in quadrants. If you head back to our Eisenhower matrix, Micro Action Monday, like another quadrant-based thing. But I want you to think about, you kind of build this in, four quadrants, and you're going to highlight your strengths by what are your, what we call unique selling points, but what's your signature service? What's the thing that you do really well? What's the thing that sets you apart in this world, right? What are your unique strengths and gifts? This can be thinking through, well, you could think through your offers, right? What are my unique strengths because I've already turned them into an offer? Or what is the thing that I feel like is so easy for me, right? It's so easy for me, but it's also not that easy for other people. So what are your strengths and what resources do you have available to help you grow? Oh, I love this question. What resources do you have available to help you grow? Please take such a holistic look at your life and say, wow, I am so rich in resources. Even if you feel like right now you don't have a ton of capital or you don't have, liquid assets or whatever it is. If you feel like you don't have a ton of like the money side, you are still rich in resources. You are still abundant. Please take a look around your entire life and go, what resources do I have available to help me grow in this situation? Okay. Now we've done our strengths, and now we're going to look at our weaknesses because we need to acknowledge where we need to grow. Okay, what could you be doing better? What could you be better at in the work that you're doing? I don't really want you to spend a whole time beating yourself up about things that you don't care about, that you could be better at. I really want you to look at the things that you do deeply care about and ask yourself, how could I be better in this area? Also, take a look at possible limitations. What limitations have you bumped into in the past? What, limiting beliefs might be hindering your progress? Where do you feel your weak points? Where do you feel super sensitive, right? If somebody gives you feedback, if somebody gives you a critique, what are the ones that really stick out to you? And let's just take a very loving and tender look at how that might be a weakness that is hindering your progress. Then we get to move on to opportunities. We're going to identify the opportunities to build on. What are you doing, or what are you and your competitors not doing yet, right? Again, I think like competitors is hard, is just not a word that I love to wrap my brain around when I think of us in the creative fields, right? I really think of us as being competing with ourselves, right? I'm just competing with like the me that I was yesterday, right? I am working with people in this field. Also, I feel like there are people that we're going up for the same roles and such. We're going up for the same opportunities, but I'm not thinking, oh my gosh, I have to compete against them. But maybe that's your jam. So if you feel that way, go ahead and think of it as competitors. If you don't, think of it as colleagues. What are you and your colleagues not doing yet? What's what they call the blue ocean? What's the big open space that people aren't doing really visible work in yet? I'm going to say it like that because I bet people are doing this, but it's not super visible yet. Is it a place for you to also grow into? Hey there, Divas. Real quick thing before we get back to the rest of this episode. Do you love studio class? You can support it now by joining the Sybaritic Camerata on Patreon. It's just at patreon.com/mezzo-Ihnen, mezzoihnen. For $10 a month, you can join the listening circle where you get access to bonus episodes, you can make listener requests, and for $20 a month, you can become a masterclass scholar. Do you ever wish you could ask our masterclass episode guests a question? Here's your chance. As a masterclass scholar, you're invited to the recording of the masterclass episodes, and you get to ask your questions during an exclusive Q&A after the taping. So come on over, check it out, patreon.com/mezzo-Ihnen. And now we're back to the episode. What new trends could you use to create opportunities for yourself, right? I think that we've seen so much of this during pandemic, right? We, as a field, have been very conservative about using technology to communicate with audiences. And over pandemic times, I have seen a lot of people really embrace it. I've seen a lot of people be really reticent to it as well. So, hits and misses. But I want you to look at trends, resources, technologies. What could you use to connect with decision makers or listeners or whoever it is that you're trying to create work with and for? And then threats. We're trying to reduce threats to your sustainability and your ongoing existence in this work. What are you and your colleagues doing equally well? Where are you being the same as everyone else in your field, such that if it came up to you and another person going up for the same role, that you'd be indistinguishable and then it doesn't even matter, right? That's a threat to your ongoing existence, is that you're not showing up as undeniable in that scenario. You're saying, I'm fine with being unmemorable in this case. I don't want that for you. That's not at all what I want. So when you are doing something equally as well, that's a threat to your ongoing existence and sustainability in this field. Also, what are your colleagues doing way better than you? If they're already doing it way better than you, take a good look at this and say, okay, do I just turn this dial all the way down and not work on this anymore? Because, and hear me very generously here, which is sometimes we do. Sometimes I just go, okay, that part is not for me. I'm turning this all the way down. I don't have to invest more time, effort, energy, etc. into working on this because that is not an open space for me. That's not accessible to me, right? Sometimes remember that we're indistinguishable from each other, but my colleagues are doing something really well. But if I gave it some more juice, if I gave it some more energy, I could distinguish myself in that area, right? That's really where I want you to look at. And that might tie into when you're thinking about your weaknesses, that if you look at that weakness and you go, oh, with a little bit more information, energy, help, guidance, I could really make this a strength of mine, a signature side of myself. Or even with help, guidance, information, energy, I still would be indistinguishable in this area. That's the part where I'm going to be like, oh, okay, I'm just going to turn this one down. I don't need to put more time and energy into that one, right? Okay, Divas, I want you to do your own SWOT analysis for today. This doesn't have to be for forever. Come back to this. Do this whenever you feel like it. Do it, put it in your calendar and do it regularly. So strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. We're just going to walk through it one more time, right? What am I uniquely skilled at? What am I not very strong in that I could that with better information could make a bigger deal or would never make a difference, right? Your opportunities. Where is there space for me to be more visible? Where is there space for me to really distinguish myself? And threats. What are the internal and external threats to my ongoing existence in this field, to my sustainable, thriving existence in this field? Okay. Happy SWOT exercises, Divas. All right. I want you to stay sparkly inside and out, even when doing a SWOT exercise. Until next time. Thanks for joining me for Micro Action Monday. Again, I'm Megan Ihnen, and you can find me on all the socials at mezzo-Ihnen. That's IHNEN. Did you know that studio class is part of the Sybaritic Singer? It is. And if you liked this episode, you're going to love my 29 Days to Diva series. That's on SybariticsSinger.com. And if you liked this episode, will you please consider leaving us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcast? Thanks. It means a lot to me.